Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Cordant. We are back for some more Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. We are in the underground caves of Knabres. We just picked up the sword.
I don't need anyone's sympathy.
The Light of the Angels. I'm actually going to put this here because this can actually give us a buff and debuff on the enemies. You can basically use this for free, although it's a standard action. It doesn't have a limit. And you summon a soothing light, warming the hearts of your allies and obscuring the vision of your enemies. Every ally in 20 feet radius gets 1 temporary hit points, and for 1 hour, and the enemies become dazzled for 1d4 rounds. So that, god damn it, I want to read the description and it doesn't let me. Abilities. Here. So dazzle takes a 1 penalty on attack rolls and sight-based perception checks. So it's not much of a bonus you get, but it's worth using, especially if you are kind of surrounded. And also just by having the 1+ hit points with so low hit points right now, it can be quite helpful.
Are we in trouble yet?
Before we move on, I want to put some stuff ready here on my characters. You have the option to turn on point-blank shot. This will make sure that your character does move into the actual point-blank range to get the bonus to attack and damage roll. Otherwise, he will not get it.
Meditate on your mistakes.
Open your heart.
Make you feel better. I'm all ears.
I also want a perfect strike, but
Where
I
do you
think
want
that's
me?
all here. Okay, so let's level up. We're gonna move up level 2. Now, on my main character, I have a solid idea of what I want, at least for the initial levels. But I'm gonna be trying some stuff out with the other characters. I hope it pays off. I've never played with it before. I'm gonna find out. So here, I'm just gonna take Sorcerer. I don't care too much about anything else here. I just want the Sorcerer. I want the Bloodline. That's all I need. So base class is what I want. I only have 2 skill points right now to attribute. So I'm gonna put them in. I think, well, mobility is pretty much mandatory here, because I want to reach level 3 as soon as possible. And I'm gonna be taking athletics as well. I want to keep having athletics as high as possible on him, because persuasion I might be able to get on some other people also. For the bloodline, I'm gonna be picking some kind of dragon bloodline, because I like the fact that it gives me resistances, it gives me mage armor, and it might even give me some useful things later on, like wings, which is quite lovely. And I think for the most part, any of these bloodlines will work. It's not that relevant because you're not really going to be casting, well, at least I won't be casting that many elemental-based spells. So the bloodline arcana giving 1 more point of damage per dice rolled on an element won't make much of a difference. So I think the only thing that matters here mostly is going to be the dragon resistances. And some enemies early on can be kind of annoying, which are the... I forget the name right now. The stupid red demons with the spear. I think they can apply... they can deal acid damage, or if you hit them, you take acid damage. I'm not sure if it has to be with natural weapons or if also with weapons, but it doesn't matter too much. I'll just take black for the... and also get some acid resistance out of it. As for the sorcerer bonus feat, it will not matter too much right now what I pick. I won't be casting too many spells, but I think if I will be casting spells, selective will be the best one for what I want to do. This, in my opinion, is the best meta magic feat you can have in this entire game. Maybe not for all kinds of spellcasters, but just in general. This is what is missing on Pathfinder Kingmaker. With meta magic selective, at the cost of 1 more spell level, you can make it so that your spell does not target your allies. This is amazing. This means you can now have party-friendly grease. You can have party-friendly web, party-friendly sirocco. It's just such an amazing spell, or an amazing feat, that I like having it in pretty much anybody that can cast spells and will cast spells of that sort. This is a sorcerer-only feat, not generic feat. If it were a generic feat, I would be picking something else. But since it's a sorcerer-only, I will take selective over here. And for spells, I will be focusing on stuff that buffs up my party and myself. So something, for example, like Enlarge Person, I will want to use often on both myself and Seelah. And I will also want Shield. So 2 very good spells for my character and for my friends. Well, this one is personal, but this one will help out other people as well. And that is our level up. 1 Scaled Fist, 1 Sorcerer. Moving up to Seelah, I'm gonna do something with her that I've never done before. So typically I go one of 2 ways with Seelah. I will either keep going in Paladin, because once you reach level 5 you get a mount. Or I would typically also go for Sohei in the Monk here, to give me an extra feat that ignores a prerequisite, which is Mounted Shield. Can ignore the property for mounted combat, which is quite good, saves up on a feat. And putting some more levels in Sohei down the line is also not a bad idea. But, you know, it's a new DLC, some new stuff came out, so I kind of want to explore it. I've never explored it before, I hope it pays off. And I'm looking at the Sable Company Marine. The reason why I'm looking at this is because you get a Hippogriff as a mount right now, which is kind of powerful, honestly. And it's also cool because you can kind of make flying attacks that work as a charge, but ignores line of sight, which is awesome. And when he reaches level 7, I believe, he also gets pounds, which is quite nice. So I kind of want to explore this. He's going to be my mount. But I will only put a single point here. I'm only doing this mostly for the mount and not for any other reason. So we're gonna play around with the new mount. And for her, in terms of skill points, what do I want? Because she has skill points in stuff that I don't really care too much about. I can give her some more persuasion to help out, I suppose. 1 point in magic device, I guess some point in perception. Because other than this, I will have athletics covered. I don't know, actually. I could give her something like stealth. I could give her Arcana right now, in case I want to dip into another class later on. But for the most part, it does not matter too much here. I'll go like this. I think perception is going to be the more important one. Use magic device also helps out to using wands and stuff like that. Persuasion to help out, and that's mostly it. Animal companion. Ah, here we go. So it starts off as a large type of animal, which means you can mount it immediately. It has a bite attack, and then special qualities. It has a flying attack, immunity to ground-based effects such as difficult terrain, and at level 7, it gains dexterity +3, con +2, 2 claw attacks, and the heavy landing and pounce abilities. So heavy landing. When diving toward the target, the Hippogriff lands heavily and knocks nearby foes off their feet before striking. Whenever the Hippogriff makes a flying attack, it performs a free trip combat maneuver against all enemies within 5 feet with a bonus to combat maneuver bonus equal to half its level. And pounce just means that when this character charges, it can perform a full attack once it reaches the enemy instead of just one attack. I think it could be a cool mount. We're gonna see if it works out. And now we can also level up our character here. And there's a lot of very decent choices. I think Bulwark is just a good default choice, honestly, because you get armor proficiencies. You get Sturdy, which basically gives him damage reduction. And every 4 levels increases by 1. Devotion, use multi-attack. I'm either between this one or Bully, because Bully trips, which is also quite nice. I think I will go for safety on Seelah here. Okay. Never noticed he had hooves in the back. Okay. I think mostly because of the damage reduction. Damage reduction will be very, very handy, especially early on, just making him take less damage. Or do I go a little bit on the offensive? God damn it, it's always hard to know what I want. I'll go for bully, screw it. I'll see if it bites me in the butt later, because I think bulwark would be the safer choice, but since I'm testing something new, I might as well go all out, right? So here, I will always... I think my level ups in terms of skill points for all of my animal companions will be the same. Spoiler. I always give them mobility, at least up to 3, because they will also always be fighting in defensive stance. And perception to help out in spotting stuff. That's basically the reason. And I will always give them the same starting stuff, which will be something like dodge, improved unarmed, crane style, you know, die hard, stuff like that to make the animal more sturdy, making him last longer, and only then will I go for something more offensive. Big Bird is the name. Okay, so here we go. 16 strength, 16 dex, 14 con, 12 wisdom, 2 intelligence and 9 charisma. Bully. Sounds good. Now, he is kind of weak right now. He only has 7 hit points, which is not a lot. And he is at 19 AC, which is not bad, because with mage armor and fighting defensively, this can go up quite high. And if I give him braces of armor, by default, he can also go up to 20 AC. So I guess I can also introduce something here that I will also include in my guide for this game. Animal companions are a lot stronger in Wrath of the Righteous. They were already very strong in Kingmaker, but here they're a lot stronger. Because you can choose the feats you want to give them, you have archetypes for them, you can equip them with items, and you can mount them. And mounting your animal companion was something that I pretty much ignored a lot the first time I played this game, because I didn't really enjoy the idea of being on a horse or something. But then I learned. There is something very powerful about doing this. And one of the main reasons why it's so powerful to use mounts is because the enemies will... I'm not sure if it's always, but if it's not always, it seems like it's always. They will always target your mount instead of the person mounting it. So why is this so strong? Because this means on the person mounting, you can pretty much ignore defensive feats. You can just go all out offensive because the mount will be doing the tanking for you. This is not entirely free. If you start moving around in melee with your mount and the enemies trigger attack of opportunity, they will attack of opportunity the rider. Okay? And maybe also archers, though I cannot confirm that right now. But in general, you are much, much safer on a mount, and you can go all offensive on the feats and kind of disregard defensive feats for the people mounting the animal companions. That makes them very, very strong, especially because you can make them very tanky as well quite early. So we're gonna try this out. Now, for Camellia, I'm gonna keep her as a pure shaman here. I want her spells. And I'm gonna keep giving her trickery and perception to help out spotting stuff. And now in terms of hexes, for the starting part, I could recommend 1, 2, 3. I could recommend 4, if I'm counting correctly. And the first one is Evil Eye. Evil Eye is something you can use at will. You don't have a limited amount, it doesn't occupy a spell slot, and it will give a 2 penalty on the following choice of the shaman: AC, ability checks, attack rolls, or saving throws, or skill checks. So you can debuff an enemy with this. Even if they succeed on the saving throw, they will still get affected by it for a single round. And you can basically spam this. It's very nice and very lovely to decrease those saves of theirs. The other one I can recommend is Protective Luck. The same style as Evil Eye, but defensive. You can apply this to a friendly character, and whenever somebody attacks him, they need to make the roll twice and take the worst result. This is extremely powerful and very, very good. If you have the patience to be kind of, you know, spamming this on a friend until you have at least chance, stuff like that, or if you exploit it later on, not sure if you can call it exploited, but it's something weird you can do that I don't like and I don't do. It is a very powerful buff. It's also a very powerful option. I think Slumber is also very cool. You can target any enemy with this. Again, it doesn't take up a spell slot, although you can only affect them once. And if they fail the save, they fall asleep. Now, this isn't that much of a boon, because if they get attacked, they wake up. But a sleeping target is susceptible to coup de grace. And coup de grace is an ability that can one-shot an enemy, regardless of their defenses or HP. They can just straight up die. So, very powerful one as well. And finally, if you are going for a melee Camellia, I would say Ice Plant. It would just give her a +2 bonus to AC on this feat. Quite lovely. I enjoy going for Evil Eye to make fighting some of the enemies ahead a little bit quicker, because some of them will have a lot of AC and this will just help whittling them down. So Evil Eye is my choice here. For Lann, now, there is a way to make the following section of the game a lot easier, and that is, once again, by relying on animal companions. So one thing you can do is give Lann, well, if you decide to stick with Lann, you can also pick, you can pick between Lann or Wenduag. I like to pick Lann, especially since I'm playing good. You can give him a point in something like Hunter, Divine Hunter, or Inquisitor, Sacred Huntmaster, which will get a pet. And with that pet, you can pick, for example, the Leopard. The Leopard is extremely tanky early on. It will face tank a lot of stuff in the following dungeon with a lot of ease. It is one of the best ways to get through the maze without too much suffering. Now, since I'm kind of in the spirit of trying new things, that at least for myself, I want to try and build them somewhat differently, because I typically give him an animal companion here, the Leopard, to clear out the maze, and then I kind of abandon Lann. I don't take him with me anymore, I take someone else or a mercenary. But for this playthrough, I want to try and keep that to a minimum. I want to try and play with Lann, and something that I think he's very good for is actually for a cleric.
Always be ready for the
because
worst.
This guy has a lot of wisdom already. Okay? We can make him work as a cleric. So he could be a cleric that is also an archer. So we can kind of make use of the Zen archer coupled with the cleric. Because something that the Zen archer also gets, and quite soon I believe, I think on level 3, you get Zen archery. So you may use your wisdom modifier instead of dexterity on range attack rolls when using a bow. So if I want to have him as a caster, I can just keep on pumping wisdom and ignoring dexterity, and he will be just as good or even better as an archer that way. So I think it combines very well. So for him, for right now, 1 point in cleric won't do much for me right now, but the second point in Zen archer will. Because they will get something very interesting. And I actually want to give this guy stealth, because I need stealth for the world map to try and avoid ambushes, because they are very annoying. The Zen Archer bonus feat will give me precise shot right now. So they get point blank shot at level 1, and at level 2 I can get precise shot right away, which is very nice. So in case you don't know, point blank shot just gives you a bonus if you are attacking with ranged weapons within 30 feet, which is kind of useful. And it's a prerequisite for precise shot. And what precise shot does is, if you are shooting at somebody engaged in melee, you will not have the 4 penalty to your attack roll. A lot of people don't know this when they start the game. If you don't have precise shot and you are shooting somebody in melee, you will always have a penalty to your attack rolls of -4, which is very, very crippling. So getting this out of the way right now is going to be very, very useful. And then we also have Way of the Bow, again, something from the Zen Archer, which will give us weapon focus on either longbow or shortbow. So in just 2 levels, we have point blank shot, weapon focus longbow, and precise shot just from these 2 levels. It's very, very good. So a nice archer over here. I'm happy with him. He's done. And finally Wenduag. Now on Wenduag, I will not bother too much with her. And the reason is very simple. I will not be taking her with me. Because like I said before, you can either pick Lann or Wenduag to go with you for the majority of the game. And I will be picking Lann, so she doesn't matter too much. I will just give her some feats because why not? But doesn't matter overall. I guess she will help in the following section. I'm just giving her weapon focus in longbow. Does not matter too much here. And we are done. So, we're gonna cross this.
Thanks, Lann. You're so awesome, Lann.
And let me see. I am currently at
privacy.
22 AC. And Big Bird is at 20. So if I gave him mage armor, he would go up to 23. Because it does not stack with braces of armor. But I want to save my potion for the maze, not for the actual next section. So I will just do this. Take charge. Take flying attack. And take this. Fight defensively. And he will always have this on. All of my animal companions that are mounts will always have that on.
Move aside.
I also want to change something here. I want to do this. So Big Bird and Seelah over there. And you three over here.
Well?
You got an additional spell. I can give you Bless, but it will not matter really until we go for the next rest. So let's collect this.
Make way.
Okay.
Don't know? Don't care.
Let's rebuff to buff Mr. Big Bird. He goes up to 8 hit points instead of just 7. It does make a difference.
Together we stand.
We charge.
I'll watch your back.
If you charge with the rider, you don't need to charge with the bird or with the mount. He will also charge with you.
I'll cut
You
you
shoot,
wide open.
and you two shoot.
Rip you apart.
Let's see if Big Bird does good things. Ah, and
A
also,
bright future
let's turn this
awaits
off on
us.
Seelah because I no longer need it. Unless she falls off.
Roll.
Okay, little ambush over here.
World in crimson.
God damn. Okay. Big Bird, +2 bonus. 9 damage. Not bad. Ow. He hit me. And they are dead. One thing I'm not liking about this mount is it's very large. If this becomes a problem, I might... Well, we'll see. We will see.
How much longer, I wonder?
Alright, so this section over here I think has some a little bit tougher enemies, but we can still go for them.
Well, it's done now.
The Earth Elementals. Yes. Now, these guys are a little bit annoying. They can be a little bit tougher. They have 19 AC, they have power attack, and they have a +8 on their attacks, which means that they can hit quite accurately and quite hard also.
You
So
can
I am going to apply some buffs here.
Moment.
You cannot cast anything yet.
I heed the voice of the spirits.
I will do something with Camellia that I did with Cordampina in Kingmaker, because she also has Bonded Object. I can actually do this to regain a spell slot and use Bless over here for additional attack bonus. It's
Death
morale,
is life's
and this
final
one is also
surprise.
morale. Okay, I
And
think
I
it's fine.
enjoy surprising people.
Perfect. And give me increase or enlarge person
Inimosi travisi.
for some hit bonus. There we are.
Now what?
Let's go for this again. And we charge.
No reason to pause.
What's on your mind? I wonder.
Everybody hit this guy.
Open your heart to me.
You can actually give me the AC Evil Eye. We're gonna start using this on people. And let's see if we don't die.
Do not fear. Do not waver.
Big Bird went down. Which means Seelah will go down as well. Let's actually turn this on right now.
I'll just sit here.
Jesus Christ.
Don't worry about
Okay.
me.
Well, it happens.
Follow me.
It does happen.
Something.
What we have to as a reward, we have the Wand of Cure Light Wounds, which is actually quite handy in this stage of the
Rely on
game.
me.
We're gonna mount again.
Move aside.
This is the downside of the mounts, of course. If the mount goes down, the rider falls prone, and then they trigger attacks of opportunity when they get up, stuff like that. It can be kind of
We
nasty.
will win this war.
The Wand of Cure Light Wounds I cannot use, but you can. So just take this
A bright future awaits
and
us.
heal Big Bird. A little bit more than that, please. And it's okay.
I don't need anyone's sympathy.
I shouldn't
Make
need
way.
too much more resources right now because we will
The
rest
mongrel
soon.
did it.
I think we have some more spiders or something up ahead. Okay. So I'm actually not going to charge with Big Bird. I want
I
people to focus
appreciate
on my main
privacy.
character here instead. Although, same AC, but I tank a little bit more.
Don't
I will help
Just
where
charge.
I can.
I'll watch your back.
I think these enemies are weak enough for me to kind of ignore that. We have some
We
centipedes.
are the light. They
This is all
are
fine.
the darkness.
So far so good. Go Big Bird! Yeah! Ah, Big Bird killing people. Some more stuff. This is a Masterwork light crossbow, which is better than the light crossbow. It gives me one more attack bonus. Let's keep going. And I think we're we're almost done, but we have an ambush waiting for us. I'll let them come to me. Not gonna charge here. You guys can hold position actually. And let's see if you guys can kill one before they reach us.
Sacrifice.
Don't think so. Okay, so take off hold position and just go.
I'll split you in half.
Big Bird, please. He's almost dead. But so are they. Okay, good.
How much longer, I wonder?
Alright. Something we can also do right now, while we do not have mounted combat or mounted shield, I can give her a better offensive weapon in the form of the Masterwork Greatsword while she is riding Big Bird.
Follow me! Or don't.
And I think we are done with this initial section. Oh, not voiced. Wenduag glances at Lann, who is fixing his slipped bowstring, and quickly walks over to you. Her cat-like eyes glow from beneath her hood. Listen here, you. I don't know who you are or where you come from, but you and I are the only two people here who see things clearly. That's why I'm asking you. Don't show the light of heaven to Sol. But Lann is sure that the light should be shown to the mongrels. Lann. Wenduag grimaces and a guttural husky snarl unfurls in her throat. He wants to play the hero. His first idea, if you remember, was to grab the sword and run headlong into the maze. Does that sound like a plan to you? To me it sounds like suicide. The worst part is that the tribe might actually take his words to heart and follow where he leads. I thought you considered the Mongols to be great warriors. The descendants of great warriors. I believe that my people are worthy of greatness, that we are strong and can do many things. That's why we're chased down here, we scared people. But it's one thing to go hunting in the caves and another to fight in the shield maze. Wenduag leans closer, her pupils dilating. I've been there. I've spent my whole life training so I can make it through all the way to the end. There were more of us trackers at the start. We were young and stupid. What's a couple of monsters when there's a whole world out there waiting for us? That's what we thought, but we weren't prepared. The maze isn't just a physical challenge. It's cunning and full of traps. It's dark as the primordial night. And if you close your eyes and listen, you hear whispers right behind you, and soft singing in the distance that seems to rise and fall with the beating of your heart. Wenduag looks away. I had to learn from my friends' mistakes. I had to step over their bodies and go further. I don't want to have to do that again. And it will happen again if a crowd of ill-prepared fighters burst into the maze with no idea where they're going, all because Lann believes that a glowing sword will solve all our problems. Don't you want to save the kids lost in the maze? I do want to, but I'm not going to risk the future of the tribe for the sake of a few stupid kids. Chief Sol is hesitant, and for good reason. He also understands how dangerous this is for the tribe. Lann's the only one who benefits from these childish games of heroism. I'll go alone if I have to and find them, or whatever's left of them, without any heroics relying only on myself, risking only my own life. Wenduag slows. You and your friends, you can come with me. Perhaps we can make it to the end of the maze together and find a way out to the surface. So, she kind of has a point, or at least she presents her arguments in a good way. If you send a bunch of people ill-prepared into a danger zone, they might die. So going by herself or by ourselves to try and find it would be better for everybody involved. But she's kind of sneaky, speaking behind Lann's back. I don't like that. We'll think about it, let's go. Wenduag nods. Don't show the chief the light and I'll lead you to the maze to the surface. I swear it. We'll see, we'll see. So with this, we are done with the initial area of the underground caves of Kenabres. I think we've cleared everything. Even the optional challenge there with the earth elementals, it's cleared. So now we go to Neathholm. And here's the message about the crippling 4 penalty without precise shot. This is like the Mongrel village. Your first impression of the Mongrel village is of a squalid dump with the odors to match. Unblinking, glowing eyes watch you from the gloom and deformed shadows slope between the huts. You see some mongrels gutting white, eyeless fish, while others are repairing fishing nets. All the signs of normal village life, but tense expectation hangs in the air. A heavy-set, aged mongrel slowly shuffles his way toward you. The hair on his head grows in limp, wispy strands, and his face has a distinctly rat-like appearance with pronounced teeth, and you hear a rattling sound in his chest with every breath he takes. One of his eyes is white, fully scarred by cataracts, while the other gleams with moisture. Uplanders. In times are upon us indeed. Sean Connery! Oh my god. Chief Sol, we found the Angel's Sword, and we found the one who can wield it. Lann points at you. He had a vision, and now the Angel's Sword together with the light of... the light of heaven are somehow inside him. Gather the tribe, anyone who can hold a weapon. The young ones are still alive, we can go and save them. Sol raises his hand with ragged, broken fingernails. Ah, Lann. Always dreaming, always talking. You're too hasty for your own good. It's going to get you in trouble. I can't make a Sean Connery impression, goddammit. Sol eyes you up and down. An uplander with the light of heaven? That's too good for us. Our kind don't have good things happen. There's always a catch. Lann trusts people because she likes to believe. Isn't that right, Lann? I'm the chief. I don't work on faith. Show the light. Wenduag stares at you intently like a cat watching a bird and shakes her head in warning. So, dialogue options restricted by mythic paths. This is important. Throughout the game, you will occasionally encounter options marked as associated with a specific mythic path. There are dialogue branches that embody the spirit of a particular manifestation of mythic powers. In the earlier stages of the game, these options must be selected in order to gain the opportunity to set out on the corresponding mythic path. Once your mythic path is set, unique alternatives inaccessible to other mythic paths will become available to you. So, this message wasn't entirely clear to me when I first read it. It's not entirely clear to me now, but for the most part, we only have the option of the Angel mythic path right now available, so we can just do it. Is there someone else from the surface here? Sol points off to the side. There he is, hale and hearty and prim as a peacock, just like me. Sol laughs, but quickly returns to business. It's not good. Too many uplanders. It's not good, it's not right. What are you up to here? You're not one of us, we're not your kind. When the time comes, we'll come to you, not you to us. Okay, so let's go with Lann. We're gonna reveal the light of heaven. Lann speaks the truth, this is a lawful aligned option. The heavenly flame flares to life at your unspoken command. This just speaks about heaven? Yeah. Bright, pure, dancing with multicolored sparks like a sunbeam passing through stained glass. The mongrels abandon their tasks and stare transfixed. The light is bright, but not blinding. It is warm, but its warmth is soul deep. Sul is silent for a while. Tears are streaming down his white, pale face, but the old man doesn't even care to wipe them away. So it's true. The angel did not forsake us. No, he came back. Back from the dead he came, to save our children. Lann gives you another thanks. The scaled half of his face is indifferent, but the human half is visibly relieved, as if he wasn't sure all this time that you would support him. Wenduag hisses at you like an angry cat. See these fishermen and these hunters, these husks of men and women, their blood will be on your hands. We have the blessing of the angels. We will survive and help the young tribesmen. Idiot. You see a bright light and now you think even the maze is no match for you? You always think the worst, Wendu. We're not on our own in this anymore. We've got allies. Well, a couple at least. But one good fighter's worth 10 bad ones. You have the right of it, Lann. But we're nethers. We're going to wait. I sent a messenger to summon all the tribes. It will take time, yes. But they will all come. They will all come for the light. Wait, Lann. Wait, the planters. Rest a while in one of our huts. Our home is your home. Lann sighs. Alright, Chief. Understood. Let's hope that a few hours isn't the difference between life and death for those kids. If they ask me what took us so long, I'll tell them it was your decision. Wenduag only grits her teeth in silence. So level advancement, because the game was expecting you to reach level 2 only here, but it was not the case for us. I will check again, because I keep forgetting. It's still on, okay, good. And now, before we rest, we're gonna pick up everything we can find. These people are poor, but I am poorer, and I will need it more than they will. I can guarantee you that. Where we are going, we need all the money we can get. Oh, hello. Horgus Guerm. Finally, someone from the surface. I was beginning to lose hope. An elderly man in expensive but not ostentatious clothes approaches you. His face is peppered with several healed cuts and bruises and twisted in an expression of extreme discontent. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Horgus Guerm. Yes, that Guerm. You no doubt have heard of me if you've spent any time at all in the city. I have a business proposition for you. Your name tells me nothing. Who are you? You truly are freshly arrived in the city then. You couldn't have picked a worse time, that's for certain. Only just arrived and the city's been razed to rubble. You should know that you are looking at one of the richest and most distinguished men in Canabras. I may not be as well known as certain swaggering loudmouths who spend their lives traipsing from one ball to the next, but the Guerm Trading Company is one of the pillars of the city. I'll have you know. Did you see the marquess in the square? I paid for those. Tried any festival delicacies? You have Horgus Guerm to thank for that. How did you end up here? For a moment, Horgus' eyes focus on Camellia before his gaze returns to you. Like everyone else, down I went when that accursed beetle cleaved the ground in twain beneath our feet. I'm lucky I didn't break my neck in the fall, and I'm doubly lucky that I didn't encounter any subterranean cockroaches on my blind wanderings, and instead came across hunters from this settlement. Although I must say that when I first glimpsed their physiognomies, my life flashed before my very eyes. But they turned out to be decent chaps. Frightening to look at, but able to keep a bargain. You don't speak very kindly of the Mongrels, even though they saved your life. Pah! Kind words are for people with hours to fritter away on pleasantries. Horgus Guerm speaks his mind, and he pays for services rendered not with kind words but with hard coin. I gave the Mongrels my dagger in exchange for their help. Its handle is worth more than their whole village. What kind of business proposition? I don't know what is happening on the surface right now, but I am determined to find out. You have no intention of seeing out the rest of your days in this village, I suspect. We must find a route back to the surface of the city, if there's anything left of it. You are a spellcaster, I presume? A sorcerer? A wizard? I can't tell which exactly, but it doesn't matter. Spells are always useful, especially in a situation like this. You look promising, like someone who can turn a demon into minced meat before they have time to sneeze. I could use a companion like you. You are strong, it will be no trouble to you. But I, alas, am not as fit as I once was. I can't go crawling about through caves playing at scouts. My proposition is simple. Lead me back to the city and I shall pay you 1,000 gold coins. I suggest we help this man. It is good to have friends among the Canabras elite. Yeah, there's a difference between good and being silly. I want the money, please, and I want the experience from this if I get it. So, 2,000 gold. God damn you. I rolled a 4, you bitch. Why not 10,000 or 100? No, let's not be miserly. Let's say 1,000,000. My initial offer was a king's ransom. You've likely never seen so much gold in all your life. It's non-negotiable. I said 1,000, that's my final offer. Money first. I would gladly pay you in advance, but all my wealth is up on the surface. Fear not, the word of a Gwyrm is worth more than platinum. Ask anyone, Orgus Gwyrm has never reneged on a deal. Okay, the deal. 1,000 gold's better than nothing. Splendid. In the meantime, I shall sit here in the village. Okay, we have to go. Go on, go on. Don't forget our agreement. When you find a way out, be sure to tell me. Man, this is also one of the reasons why I pick heroism in that book event, because we also get a +2 morale bonus to skill checks, and I still failed. I am sad. But it is what it is. I cannot quick load anything, so we live with the decisions, whatever they may be. Ooh, first aid kit, very nice, very useful.
How much longer, I wonder?
So, the first aid kit is something that I need to mention, because it differs from Kingmaker. In Kingmaker, if you are afflicted by some kind of penalty, like, let's say, a weak form of poison, or a weak form of disease, something like that, you can use
on your mistakes.
Treat Affliction. I don't know if this is the name or not, but I think it might be. Treat Affliction to heal that. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. You can only use it once per person per day, though. This one is the same thing. You can treat each character only once per day, but you need a first aid kit to use this. So it is important to always keep a couple of first aid kits with you, for that very same reason. So Anivia is talking with Orgus Gwyrm. This tragedy may not have happened if you'd spent less time surveilling honest citizens and more time tracking the real spies and demon worshippers. Brilliant idea. How come I didn't think of it? Now, if only the cultists would tell us they were cultists, then we wouldn't have to waste time investigating honest citizens who decide to go all cloak and dagger right under our noses. Orgus and Anivia sit some distance apart, sniping at each other in an idle fashion that testifies to their long acquaintance and mutual dislike. When they notice you, they quickly fall silent. What's the bad blood between you two? It's an old matter. Mrs. Tirabad here had the notion of spying on me, then of rummaging through my goods. I ask you, do I look like a cultist? Cultists don't tend to look like cultists, you know. That's kind of the whole problem. And you, Mr. Gwyrm, built a whole secret operation of buying and smuggling to the city. What was it? Oh yeah, magical weapons. How was I supposed to know that all the rigmarole with middlemen was so you could anonymously donate supplies to the crusade? Don't you see? I have a reputation to uphold, one that I value most highly. Orgus Gwyrm is a hard-nosed businessman, not a good fairy from a tale. Yes, I care about my city. Yes, I wish to see that its defenders, my defenders, were well-fed, healthy, and well-armed. But to make those donations openly was unthinkable. I might as well hang a sign outside my door welcoming in every sponger, leech, and parasite in the city. I appreciate your help for the crusades. No jokes, you're an alright bloke. But carrying on secret dealings in a city that's teeming with cultists is a huge pain in the backside for us lot whose job it is to keep an eye on that sort of thing. How's the leg, Anivia? She scrunches up her nose. Well, it hasn't fallen off yet, so that's good. They've bandaged me up all nice and smeared some stinking stuff on the wound, so it looks like I'm gonna live. They said wait a day and I'll be right as rain. So I'm waiting. What do you think is happening in the city now? Perhaps the city is no more. If the Skadi himself appeared, there's no telling how bad things are. Can you hold off on writing an obituary just yet? The city is full of fighters, and besides that, it's barely a stone's throw from Nerosian, the capital of the Crusader state of Mendev. I think our people will hold on long enough for reinforcements to come from the Queen. This ain't the Skadi's home turf. He's gonna have to retreat or else fight off the whole Mendevian army. What do you think of the mongrels? I thought they were just a story, the sort of thing drunks in the taverns would come out with. Now I discovered that it's true. Well, what can I possibly think of them? The poor creatures are most unfortunate with their faces and their minds so deformed. It's a miracle they're even alive. The part that boggles my mind is that they're the descendants of the first Crusaders. All these years they've been living beneath our feet, in caves in the dirt. If I'd known the legends about them were true, I'd have dedicated my life to getting them out of this place. To what end? The people of Canabras would have stoned them on sight, and Prelate Hullrun would have them tossed on the pyre en masse. Whatever the ills of this place, it is their home. How long do you think they would have survived on the surface? What are you going to do when you get back to the surface? I'm going to go home. Last I knew, I owned a very fine mansion. I shall see if it's still standing or if I am now homeless. I'm going to find Elizabeth. She's my wife and the leader of the Eagle Watch. Inclusion, of course. As long as she lives, she won't allow Canabras to fall. We have to go. Go on then, and don't dilly-dally. The sooner we get out of here, the likelier we are to find some people still alive up there. Take care of yourself. Okay, so we have spoken to them. We found our first vendor, Dira, here, which we will be making use of. We can rest in this hut over here, in this little place, marked with the quest marker, the hut for resting. But like I said, first we're picking up everything in the area, and I think that's all actually. Yep. So before I forget, we will update our spells. I don't want to have Cure Light Wounds as a spell on her. I'm gonna take Remove Fear. I think I might need it. I want one Bless, and I will take Magic Weapon, because I don't think I'm gonna have a magical weapon for my main character in a long while. Level 2 you don't have yet. Nothing, so it's only on her. Okay, let's rest. The messenger returned. The tribes are getting to the entrance of the maze. Our people have already gone there. I've warned the Nevi and that old guy who won't even acknowledge me. Take your time, there's no rush. The most important people always show up late. Lann looks around. Everything's going to plan, but one thing's bothering me. Wenduag's gone. You told the truth to the Mongrel tribe and revealed the light of heaven despite Wenduag's attempts to persuade you otherwise. All the tribes? So, a whole army is marching on the maze then? By Mongrel standards, yes. But don't be too disappointed when you see the reality. There aren't many of us who can hold a weapon, and fewer still who can do any damage with one. What do you think happened to Wenduag? Lann shakes his head. I don't know. She was always stubborn. Maybe she decided she could do it all on her own. I hope she comes back, we'll struggle without her, and she'll struggle without us. No matter how hard she'll try to deny it. What about the Nevi and Orgus? Are we just going to leave them here? Once we've cleared the maze, the way ahead will be safe. And Nevi's in no state to fight, and that Orgus guy, he doesn't look like he'll shift an inch unless we roll out a red carpet all the way to the exit. Still, are you sure the maze is the only way to the surface? Lann nods. There was another passage, the one I used with my dad when we left and then came back. The chief back then, he found it and filled it in, to stop anybody else going against the Ancestors' wishes. And what the Ancestors wanted was for everyone to go through the maze. I'm not sure of everything right now, but we don't have a choice. We can only go forward. There were other passages, but they are far from here, and with all these earthquakes, who knows what condition they're in now. So our best bet is the maze. If it doesn't lead anywhere, then we can consider our next move. Okay, let's go. No time to lose. Let's go. But before you do, thank you. I was so happy I forgot to thank you before, but you've done something no one else has in a long time. You've given the Mongrels hope. It's like we're starting to believe that we're worth something, now that we have the power of the angels on our side. Lann's face grows sullen. It won't change anything, of course, but at least you'll help us save the young ones, hopefully. Let's go to the main gate. The straight road is the shortest. Alright, and... okay, I was kind of wondering if I had messed this up. But yeah, the vendor is still here, and I do need to speak with the vendor. I'm not gonna bother going through this, I'll just, you know, spin the dialogue. It doesn't matter too much. And let's see what we have here. So, first things first, what I typically do is I configure my bulk selling options in this button for everything that's masterwork, non-magical, and other. For the start now, since masterwork weapons are better than regular weapons that we have, I actually want to keep them with me, but everything else can mainly just go. So, bulk selling, everything over here can go. This masterwork dagger, I don't see myself using. Let me see if I need the money. And the Kama, this might actually have a use soon. We'll see. It's a monk weapon, so my character could actually equip it. And this would give us 164 gold. And I would like to purchase the 2 potions of mage armor. They will be very, very useful. Nothing from... I do need the quiver of cold iron ammunition. It will help out a little bit. Purifying solutions will help in resting. Let's see if I need to take more or not. And if I could, I want a scroll of heroism. And I will want potions of cure light wounds. So, if I sell this, I can even buy one more. Okay, so I'll sell the dagger. Doesn't matter too much. Okay. I could make use of this. Okay, protection from evil. It might play a part somewhere. I would take scrolls of blood if I have the money for them, but I do not. And let's just make sure I'm not selling anything that I need. So all of these things are normal stuff. Don't care about the shield. Yeah, this can all go. Okay, so deal. So basically what we picked up was potions of mage armor are going to be very important for my main character and also for my animal companions, giving us essentially, quote-unquote, for free 4 extra AC, which makes a big difference. I picked up a quiver of cold iron ammunition. This is mostly for Lann, because some enemies in the maze will have damage reduction, and cold iron ammunition will go through that damage reduction. It helps out a bit. And the scroll of heroism, the same thing. I can use this in the tougher situations in my main character to just have an additional bonus on attack rolls, saves, and skill checks. Potions for healing, of course, they will be needed. And then the potion of protection from evil, 2 deflection bonus to AC against evil opponents for a more difficult fight. This guy does not sell first aid kits, sadly. So we go like this. We have 9 gold remaining. It is what it is.
Follow
Okay,
me!
so
Or don't.
we ride ahead. Now without Wenduag, because she left us. Okay, it's on.
Move aside!
And we have looted everything here. We've spoken with the chief, we've spoken with the Nivea and Orgus Gwerm. We have rested, we changed the spells on Camellia, so we can go. Okay, so let's see if my formation got messed up. It did. So basically when somebody leaves your party or joins, the formation tends to get a bit messy. So make sure you check it after anybody, you know, joins or leaves.
Rely on me.
Let's mount Seelah up.
Make way!
Monitor lizard right here. Okay.
Never
So,
a dull moment.
let's start with our stuff here. I still had my 1 potion of mage armor from the monk class. They last for 1 hour, so it's more than enough for us to do whatever we need in the maze until we have to rest. And my animal companion will also drink one. So 23 AC right now. I will give this to Lann, although we won't be using it just yet. Feather Step can go over there. Enlarged person can also go away. This can go away. And you are looking good. Okay. Mage armor has been applied. But honestly, I'm gonna see if I can kill this guy before he attacks me even. That is my goal. Buff. Don't leave.
I heed the voice of the spirits.
We're gonna be too far.
I don't need
We
anyone's
will win
sympathy.
this
Okay,
war.
you guys can still charge, so I
I'm
think
all
it's good
ears.
enough.
You've crossed the
You
wrong
guys
mongrel.
shoot.
Well,
And you can actually try and lower his AC to see if it helps out a bit.
They will break against our
Let's go.
resolve.
Yeah. Good job.
How much longer, I wonder?
What? Why?
A bright future awaits us.
No. Okay, the bird is making it very hard to actually click on things. And did I see somebody with hold position?
Together we stand. No reason to pause.
I think the game just does this by default when he's mounted.
What's on your
Doubt
mind?
is the heart's
I
greatest
wonder.
challenge.
Interesting. Okay, so here you can find a bunch of mongrels. Because this is the entrance to the maze. We find Sean Connery again. The tribes are gathering. Soon we will attack. How long can we wait? The other tribes haven't turned up yet. We're going to wait for them. Just another while longer. Knowing so, the preparations will take the best part of the day. Let's go take a look in the maze ourselves and see what's what. We're gonna do more than take a
Follow
look.
me, or don't.
We're gonna do their job for them. Some more annoying flies. I want to check something here. I'm doing 5 to 10 damage. 5 to 10 damage. Slashing instead of blunt. I guess I'll go for slashing because these enemies are very slashy. And I like the sound when you kill people with slashing weapons.
I appreciate
I know this makes me sound very evil, but it's true. It just sounds very good.
You can trust
Let's
me.
get some light going as well. On Big Bird. Yeah, the headlights are on.
Don't know? Don't care.
Charge!
Rely on
Charge!
me.
I'll watch your back.
You
Shoot.
won't survive me. Yet another obstacle.
Okay, so we have 3 giant flies. This is probably the more dangerous one. No, actually the young giant fly is more dangerous than the giant fly. Interesting. Oh, sorry, no, it's better defended but less attack bonus. Okay. And one more. Dead. Okay, let's have the melee people focus the same one to have flanking bonuses. Dude, come on. Hey, thank you. I was rolling very poorly there. Now, I don't believe there's anything over here, but I always check anyway. Yep, nothing.
Make way.
So the next step, my friends, is to squeeze through and enter the maze. Now from here, you'll notice you can't even go out again. But, you know, this is a tutorial area. You have to go through it, and it is kind of a hard area to go through.
Thanks, Lann. You're so awesome, Lann.
Boss relief of Baphomet, Demon Lord, Lord of the Minotaurs, and Lord of the Labyrinth.
How much
Fitting for a
longer,
maze, I suppose.
wonder?
And here we're gonna find our first enemies, which are gonna be the Baphomet cultists. Now, this maze
Follow me.
is filled with a lot of
Or
enemies
don't.
that one could consider kind of whatever. They're not very dangerous. Like these guys here are nothing special. But then there will be others which can be very, very tough to kill and very annoying as well. But we will assess the situation as we go about it. And my goal is to try and clear out the simpler sections of the maze in order to level up and then go for the harder ones. Because if you notice, we are not that much far away from leveling up, and we can level up during the course of the maze. And I want to do that. Okay, so I think this will be a nice point for us to end. We have just entered the maze, what they call it, the shield maze. It will be an interesting section. It's a section where a lot of people die and suffer through. I'll try and make the most of it and explain how I'm doing things and where I'm going first and all that stuff. And hopefully we can get out of it without too much suffering. With that, my friends, will be the end of this episode. As always, I want to thank you all for being here with me in the channel, watching some Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Questions, suggestions, if you want to share your experiences about the shield maze, leave a comment below. I would love to read it. And if you are enjoying the content, consider subscribing for more. It's a free and easy way to support the channel, and there are many more videos coming out soon. I hope to see you all in the next episode, and until then, stay safe everyone.